So friends, welcome back to the second part of uh, our physics journey. So in the chapter 1 we have discussed introduction in the last previous videos, and we have seen few things about the electrostatics. Okay, so let's just start. So where this electrostatics is used, I mean where this static charges and kind of physics is used. So the here is the some mention that static electricity is used in copier machine, say Xerox machine, laser printer, television, etc. Natural phenomena such as lightning can be understood through static electricity. Okay, so whatever I highlight and whatever I tell you about the things are important. So while watching the video or after watching the video, make it pause and note it down in your notebook. Okay, so the important things will be told you here, and you have to make notes. The IMP theory will be also provided here, so you have to write it down in your notebook since we are dealing online education. So at least you have to do that. So here I mention a thing: the static electricity is used in copier machine. So this will be this will be asked in your MCQ or JEE NEET competitive exams. So make sure where this static electricity used. So it is in Xerox machine, say copier machine, laser printer, television, etc. Okay, you know that after taking a Xerox paper, after a Xerox or having a printed document, if you touch the document you will find it warm, lightly warm. That is because static electricity. And you know that in old television, that CRT television, not LCD LED television, the older version, in that television if you touch to the television screen, then you will find some kind of crackle or spark. That is because static electricity. Okay, picture are produced using electron gun. So let's see electric charge. So friends, as I told you earlier, uh, in the beginning of Renaissance, the beginning of our understanding, we knew that the last particle, the last tiny undivisible particle is tiny particle of mass m. We don't know any further that. Okay, but after the discovery of electron, proton, neutron, we come to realize that the atom is made of other tiny particles. Okay, so the three particles that are useful are the electron, okay, which has negative charge, okay, proton which has positive charge, and neutron which has charge none so ever. Neutron has no charge. Okay, so these are three particles we will consider useful in 12th standard, but neutron has no charge, so it is not useful in our chapter. The electron and the proton, they are tiny particle. The proton is like the neutron in size, but the electron is tiny, very tiny particle. Proton is slight larger than the electron. Okay, if we put them in the space, then they will impart gravitational force to each other. You know that they both have mass. Okay, they both have mass, that's why they will impart gravitational forces. I mean they will attract each other because of the mass, because of the gravitational force. You will find another force beside this gravitational force, which is electrical force. So electrical force in this case is attractive because proton have positive charge and electron have negative charge. Electron has negative charge, so they will attract each other by another force which is called electrical force. So friends, gravitational force is because of mass and the electrical force is because of charge. They both have charge. and the force is attractive in nature. Okay, the charge can be denoted by Q. Okay, but in case of electron and proton we will denote by E. We will see that later. Okay, now put proton and proton here. Okay, two proton by some distance apart. Okay, so you will discuss, you will see they have gravitational force and also electrical force, but electrical force will be repulsive. In this case electrical force will be repulsive. So that is because the proton has positive charge and another proton have positive charge. So unlike charge repulse each other. Just like if you place two electron close to each other, you will see the electric force is repulsive in nature. So friends, you know that in case of magnetism or the bar magnet, if you put n pole near to n pole, then the force will be repulsive. Likely if you pull s pole near to s pole, the force is repulsive, but if you put n pole near to s pole, the force is attractive. Just like that, two positive charges like proton repulse each other, two negative charges like electron repulse each other, but positive and negative charges attract each other. So this is the basic knowledge we already know. Your curiosity about the name word, the electron, where did it come from? So the word electron, that is come from the electra, which is for the amber. Greek people have found out the amber, you know, the stone amber. Amber. So this is amber. Okay, in Greek language it is called electra, and that's why the word come electron from it, because if we rub this amber to clothes like silk or something, that then we will find some charges on it, attraction, repulsion, so and so. Okay, so the word electron come from the Greek language. Another thing is that the charge of proton which is positive, the charge of proton which is positive, okay, and the charge of electron which is negative. So what is this positive charge and negative charge? So friends, let me tell you something about this. The positive charge and negative charge is actually just opposite behavior. It remains just opposite behavior. Okay, if we reverse this thing, I mean if we say the proton has negative charge and electron has positive charge, then it will make no difference in entire physics. Okay, there is nothing like positive and negative in physics. What is then? So the positive and negative, they shows opposite behavior, opposite characteristics. Example, for an example, say if I say this direction is positive, okay, if I say the right direction is positive, then obviously the opposite direction will be negative. But if I say this direction is positive, then what will happen? The opposite direction will be negative. So it is up to you. It is up to you which direction you call positive, then the opposite will be negative. So in our case, we decided that we will tell the charge of proton a positive charge and charge of electron negative charge. This is represented by Benjamin Franklin. If you have heard the name Benjamin Franklin, you know the Benjamin Franklin, that was the pioneer scientist or investor or freedom fighter of the America, USA. He just told that one behavior is called positive charge and another will be called negative charge. Here we will see here we have a sweater which is made of the wool or fur, okay, and here we have a balloon. So initially, in every object is in general situation, every object is neutral. Okay, let me tell you these things. For example, the balloon. So in case of balloon, you see there are 4 positive charges, okay, and 4 negative charges. So the equal charge is 0, okay, because the charge of proton, which is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Okay, we will see this coulomb just later, the coulomb unit for the charge. So the proton, it is positive 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 90 coulomb, and for electron it is equal minus 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 90 coulomb. So the proton and electron both have same magnitude of the charge. Okay, that's why see here, the balloon has equal number of positive charges and equal number of negative charges. So this is a neutral object. I mean, it is not electrified, it is not charged, there is no resultant charge because total charge is 0. You can understand this. Likewise, in case of sweater, there are equal number of positive charge and negative charge. So the sweater is also neutral object. They both have, the sweater and balloon, they both have resultant charge 0. Okay, here is the wall. Similar for the wall. In the wall, the same amount of positive charge and negative charge. So in general situation, these objects are neutral. Okay, and every object will try to be neutral. We will see that later. Now if I rub this balloon to the sweater, so in the process of this rubbing, because of the friction and the rubbing, if I rub the balloon to the sweater, the electron will be transferred into the balloon, or the electron will be transferred to the sweater. So this transferring will be done by the electrons. You know why protons can be transferred? Because protons are inside the nucleus of the atom. If this is the atom, then the proton resides in the nucleus, in the center, but electrons, they revolve around the orbits, so they can easily transfer to another object. So if I rub the balloon, the electron will be transferred. Let's see that. Okay, so they are neutrals initially, but now if I rub this balloon, so you see, okay, so what do you see here? You see that the electron has been transferred to the balloon. So in this case, the balloon becomes negatively charged and the sweater becomes positively charged. You see that here the sweater has positive charge and balloon has negative charge. That's why if I release the balloon, it will be attracted toward the sweater. See, okay, because of the attraction. What attraction? The attraction between positive charge, and here is in case of negative charge. Okay, so let's see again. Okay, see, the sweater has no resultant charge and balloon has no resultant charge because of the equal number of positive and negative charge. But if I rub this balloon with the sweater, so then you will find the balloon has the negative charge and the sweater has positive charge. So if I release, it will be attracted toward the sweater. I take two balloons. I take another balloon with the sweater, then this balloon is also negatively charged. Now consider the yellow balloon and the green balloon. If I release them, balloon goes there and it is repulsive. Why it is repulsion happens here? Because this balloon, yellow balloon, has negative charge and this green balloon has negative charge, so it goes and gets repulsion. Okay, but try to attract toward the sweater. See, this balloon is repel. See, this balloon is get repulsion because of the negative charge. This balloon has negative charge and this also has negative charge. So in the brief, we can say negative charge repels each other, and uh, sorry, like charges repels each other, and unlike charges means what? The positive charge and negative charge, they attract each other. Okay. Now if we rub, you have to remember this one. Okay, if we rub a glass rod, you have to remember this one. If we rub a glass rod to a silk cloth, so if we rub a glass rod to silk cloth, the electron will be transferred from glass to silk. Okay, in this particular case, then the silk will be negatively charged because electron has been transferred to it, and the glass will be positively charged. So if in any case, if in any MCQ, if you are given this scenario, the glass is rubbed to the silk, then glass will be positively charged and silk will be negatively charged. Similarly, if you rub a plastic rod, okay, plastic rod to a wool or fur, say fur, okay, then the electron will be transferred to the plastic. That's why plastic will be negatively charged and this fur will be positively charged. So this is, you have to remember in any cases. So the glass will be positively charged. You have to remember that glass will be positively charged and plastic will be negatively charged. Okay, so this is quick study and tips you have to remember and you have to point out in your notebook. Okay, by the way, you will provided in your chapter these things. Okay, the glass rod and plastic and kind of experiment, but you will find easy to remember here. Okay, if the glass is rubbed to silk, what happens, and the plastic is rubbed to the fur, then what happens. So now come to next part. So the charge and the unit of it. So as I told you, the charge of proton, we will denote it by plus E. When we write plus E, then you have to understand it is the charge of proton, one proton, and it is positive. Okay, positive 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Okay, so the unit for the charge, the SI unit for the charge is coulomb, and this unit is named after the scientist Charles Coulomb. Hence you have to write capital C. Okay, because you know, if any unit is named after scientist, then you have to write the capital, like the Newton, it is named after Sir Isaac Newton, then it is Newton. Okay, like Pascal, then the capital P and A, first letter will be capital. But like meter will be small. Okay, like second will be small. So you know these things. That's why the proton, the charge of proton will be denoted by plus E, which is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 90 coulomb. Similarly, the charge of electron will be denoted by minus E, which is negative 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. So they both have same magnitude but opposite sign. So we will consider the positive charge for the proton and negative charge for the electron. Thus coulomb becomes the SI unit for the charge. Okay, so how to define 1 coulomb? When we say it is 1 coulomb, then it is very early, but in 10th standard, have you seen the equation, the current I? Current I is equal to the charge. We also denote charge by Q. Okay, you know the charge Q per unit time. Perhaps you remember this equation from the 10th standard. Okay, I hope you remember. The current means the charge passing through unit area, passing through any area in unit time. So Q is equal to IT. Okay, thus it becomes the charge, the unit for charge is coulomb, is equal to the unit for the current is ampere, and unit for the time is second. So 1 coulomb is 1 ampere second. So if you asked write down the dimensional formula for the coulomb, so what will be dimensional formula for the coulomb? Then M L P A, you have to write up to A. So M0 L0, there is no length, there is no mass. Time, yes, 1 coulomb is equal to 1 ampere second, so time there is, so T1 and ampere, so A1. So this will be dimensional formula for the 1 coulomb T1 A1. You will write down this one. So next, how to measure charge. So charge is measured by the device called electroscope. So you will remember, charge is measured by the device called electroscope. You will see here. So this is the electroscope. Okay, you can make your own electroscope at home. So in electroscope, here is a gold leaf, and here is a metal disc. Let me tell you how this works. So this is the initial figures for the electroscope. Nowadays we have digital electroscopes. Okay, you can make your own electroscope like this. So let me tell you how this electroscope works. Okay, so this is for understanding. Okay, you have to remember these things for the sake of curiosity. You will take a glass jar. Okay, transparent glass jar. I apologize for this poor drawing. Okay, and you will provide a rubber cork here and close the glass jar. Okay, now you will take a copper wire. And pass it through the cork up to this length and make a hook here. Now you will take a paper strip, a size of this, a simple paper like a newspaper. Okay, and you bend in this shape. The paper strip you will bend in this shape and put on this hook. So if you put a paper strip here, then it will be look like this, and you will hang suspend by the hook here. Okay, initially these two ends of the paper strip will be closer to each other. Now what will happen? We will take say a glass rod, and we will rub it to the silk. Okay, then the glass rod will be positively charged. Okay, let's say the glass rod is positively charged, and we bring the glass rod near this end, and the glass rod is positively charged. We will just bring this glass rod to this wire. Okay, and when we bring this glass rod here, the electrons will be attracted. You know, this is the copper wire and it has plenty of electrons. Initially it is neutral. Okay, it is neutral somehow, but when we bring glass rod to this end of the wire, the electron in this wire will be attracted to this end and come to this end. Okay, the all free electrons, कॉपर के वायर के अंदर के जो फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है वो अट्रैक्ट होके इस एंड तरफ आ जाएंगे. अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन इस तरफ आ जाएंगे तो पॉजिटिव चार्ज ऑपोजिट एंड में आ जाएंगे. ओके, तो ऑपोजिट एंड, फारदेस्ट ऑपोजिट एंड कौन सा है? तो पेपर स्ट्रिप वाला. अब पेपर स्ट्रिप में आप देखेंगे तो दोनों जो एंड है उसमें पॉजिटिव चार्ज इंड्यूस हुआ है, तो वो एक दूसरे को रिपेल करेंगे एंड यू विल फाइंड द पेपर स्ट्रिप इज एक्सपांडेड लाइक दिस. ओके, so let me explain you here. Okay, you can find this here. The negatively charged object is bring closer to this end like this in case of our wire. Okay, closer to this wire. So if we bring any charged object, then this leaf, okay, in our case it is paper strip, will be expanded like this, and if we bring it away, then it will come in natural condition. So this is basic idea of how this electroscope works. Okay, you can find few videos in YouTube if you like. This will to satisfy your curiosity. So up to this we have seen all basic about the charge. Okay, so what you have to remember, so here is the tip. So the first thing, that the SI unit of charge, which is coulomb. Okay, 1 coulomb is equal to 1 ampere second. Okay, the coulomb is named after the scientist, so it is capital. Ampere is named after the scientist, so it is capital, and this is second. So 1 coulomb is equal to 1 ampere second. How to measure the charge? So using electroscope. It is the device that is to measure the charge. What happen if we rub glass rod to the silk cloth? Okay, so glass will be positively charged and silk will be negatively charged. Similarly, what happens if we rub plastic to a wool or fur? Okay, then the plastic will be negatively charged and fur will be positive charge. In general situation, every object is neutral because it has same number of positive charge like proton, and same number of negative charge, say neutron. So the total charge of every object in normal circumstances, the total number of charge is 0. Okay, this is to remember. And where this static electricity use, then you will say in Xerox machine, copier machine, laser printer. Okay, laser printer, because there are several type of printers, but particularly laser printer will be function on this static electricity. Okay, television, CRT television, and television and lightning, thunder. Okay, these phenomena use the static electricity. So in next video we will see the quantization and the conservation of the charge. Okay, now the genuine question I ask here, what is the definition of the charge? What is the definition of the charge? Can you give the definition of the charge? So it is hard to define the charge. We simply can't define the charge. Okay, just because we simply can't define the mass. Can you define the mass? What is mass? Can you say? Can you answer what is mass? Every object is a massive body. Every object, any tiny particle to the big planets and the galaxies, they all have mass, but you just can't define. It is the characteristics. You can simply, it is the characteristics that is responsible for the gravitational forces. So mass is the characteristics, the instinct characteristics that is responsible for the gravitational forces. Similarly, the charge is responsible for the electrical force. That is only we can define. There is no definition for the charge. Okay, it is very, very important to know for you. Just like mass, we can't define the charge. So just forget the definition. Charge is kind of instinct characteristics, but there is a difference. The mass has no sign. You can't say the positive mass or negative mass. Okay, scientists are still discussing, but they have no idea. But we until now know that mass has no sign. Okay, but charge has sign. charge can be positive, either positive or negative, so that is the difference between them. Okay, so these things you have to remember. Until next video, if you find any query regarding what I have told you here, then this is my mobile number. You can send me a WhatsApp message, and I will try to resolve it. 97270 422 42286. Okay, so this is the mobile number. Since we can't send message in the groups, but if you find any problem understanding any case here, then you can ask me. Yeah. Okay, thank you for watching.